Guys, we got to talk about Manchester United because this team is run in absolutely shambolic ways. I'm actually so confused as to why I'm still seeing the same patterns constantly in a team that is as big as Manchester United. It makes no sense to me. If you guys don't know, I'm a Premier League fan in general. I like to watch different teams. I like to watch the play styles, what each team offers, the individual talents, all this kind of stuff, right? And I'm watching Manchester United and I'm like, so they got a new manager to yet again play the same play style as they have been playing for the past couple of years without proper reinforcements. Guys, this team went to go buy a center back for 60 something million just because Eric Ten Hag is familiar with him and then because he wants to play this passing play style when he already had 5 center backs. You have all this money to spend on one center back, right? When you still don't have a proper right-sided player, you still don't have a proper striker lineup, right? A team that wants to compete in any championship needs at least 3 players that can competently play in the striker position. Even FC Porto has Ivan Nilsson, Taremi, and Tony Martinez, but you guys don't have a third striker. And then you have a striker, but then your manager's like, oh, yeah, he's not match fit. I would rather have a 30% Ronaldo in a team that does not know how to play a false 9 formation yet and who crosses the ball high constantly. But guys, they want to cross the ball high. There was literally a moment with Dalot where he didn't put the ball into the box because he's like, who am I going to cross this ball to? The only player that I know that can competently win a header in the air is Maguire. And Maguire's a center back. The only time he's going to win a header in the air is if he's going for a corner kick. Who are they going to cross the ball to? They don't have that play style to play the ball at the feet. Maybe after a couple of weeks, sure. But a player that's not in form, guys, Portugal versus France in the Euros, we were playing with Quaresma, Nani up top, and we had no striker. And you can clearly see, it's clear as day that you needed a striker on the pitch. Eder is not that great. Bless his soul for scoring the goal for us that won us the Euros, right? Bless his soul. But Eder's not that great, but he's still a striker. He's still a player that you need to have up top to be able to cross the ball to be able to pass the ball off to be the target man, lay the ball off to other players. There was none of that in the first half. It doesn't make any sense to me. You spent all this money on a center back when you still don't have a CDM attack-breaking player, right? After all these years, you get glimpses of it with Nemanja Matic in the CDM position. Glimpses. For a player who is past his prime, right? You get glimpses of it, but you're like, no, we're not going to buy a player like that. Oh, but Inception, they're trying to get De Jong. De Jong is 80 million. And you're waiting this long to get De Jong, and you know what's happening is that you're going to spend so much money on one player, you're going to have to spend so much money on another player. Like, guys, they also want Anthony, but Ajax values him at like 80 million as well. I don't understand how a big club like Man United don't see other options that they can work with. You have Red Bull Salzburg, who's recently, like Fabrizio Romano has literally said that they have no intention of selling Sesko, right? Where's the movement in the market from you guys? You're such a huge club and you do nothing on the market. A team like FC Porto has sold players consistently. Fabio Vieira, Vitinha. And we still have stuff we can work with. You guys sell players and you're like, okay, we're good. I'm so confused. Using Rashford in the left-sided position, I'm sorry, at this point in time, it is a waste of time to do this now. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of a position where Jadon Sancho should be playing in. You guys, after all these years, have yet to get a competent right-sided player. Honestly, Rashford, I don't even know why this guy plays at this point. It should just be Jadon Sancho on the left, if you're going to play a 4-2-3-1, Jadon Sancho on the left, with what you are currently working with, Elanga on the right, Eriksen or Bruno in the middle, and then Ronaldo up top. For now, McTominay and Fred as CDMs again. Another year of Fred and McTominay. I don't mind Fred playing in the CDM position, but why are they still playing with McTominay at CDM? Why are they still playing a 4-2-3-1? You guys got a manager that doesn't have a different identity? Galtier to PSG, 3-4-3. Xavi, immediate difference in Barcelona 3 weeks into it. During the season. I'm so confused. This is one of the biggest teams in the world, and their run in shambolic ways. I'm so confused. That performance in the first half today, man, I was like, dude, I'm watching the same team as I was in the previous years. It's the same team. It's the same play style. Oh, once in a while they can get like some passes together. Crazy, man. I don't understand what's happening at this club. And then like, no offense to Eric Tanak, because maybe after a period of time he'll become a great manager, or not become, but you know, maybe he gets them going, because sometimes certain teams need more time than others. I'm not gonna say that they don't, right? But this guy only wants to go for Ajax players, or players from the Dutch league like PSV. They're linked to Sangare and Gakpo. They're linked to Sesko, who apparently is not for sale from Red Bull Salzburg. So if they say, this is what happens in the transfer market, okay? If a team says that a player is not for sale, it's because they want a lot of money to be able to sell them, right? De Jong, 80 million. Anthony, 80 million. Do you guys not have a club that invests millions upon millions of dollars, pounds, whatever it is, to search for other options? You only want to get players that you're familiar with. That's it. Never like, oh, you know, this guy could... Palinga went to Fulham for 15 million. That could have been a cheap alternative for you. He didn't even have to be your starter player for the whole year, but it could have just been one of the options to work with in the midfield for 15 million. And you didn't go with that. I saw Palinga available. I was like, if Manchester United are going to continue to play this 4-2-3-1, why don't they get a player like this? Oh, because, you know, his ball distribution is not the greatest. It doesn't even matter if the ball distribution is the greatest or not. Is McTominay's ball distribution the greatest? McTominay's a box-to-box. It's crazy, man. How does a team like Manchester United, how's a big team like this still run the same way? How do you spend that much money on a center back when you don't have a CDM striker or right wing? How? How is that possible? They messed up so bad during that time period when they didn't get Antonio Conte. They didn't get Antonio Conte. That was a huge miss. I even said it during the time period as well. I kept telling people, like, huge miss that they didn't go for this guy, because Manchester United needs a manager like Conte, right? They need a manager that's going to not only be tough on your players, but provide a completely different play style. This 3-back formation in the game nowadays, I'm a huge fan of it, because it is such a well-balanced formation to push forward and come back. It's so well-balanced. Most of the teams are playing this formation nowadays, unless you're Real Madrid, because that trio is just too good in the midfield, right? But most teams are switching to this. Galtier went to PSG, switched to a 3-4-3. Guys, you should see the way PSG plays under this new manager. Guys, I know PSG's never won the Champions League, and I know they're a huge meme. Oh, money this, but this is such a huge year for them. I really do genuinely believe that, because the way that they are playing in this 3-4-3 system is so perfect for them. And apparently, they've already signed Renato Sanchez, and then they're also going to get Fabian Ruiz. This team is stacked with a manager that is going to provide a new identity, but play properly in your team. Look, you guys should watch these games now, man. Guys, doesn't matter if you think it's a farmers league or not. Watch PSG now. If you watch them with Mauricio Pochettino during that time period and you watch them now, you will see a huge difference. Okay? For how they should be playing. Because it makes sense. Let's think. Let's use our brains for a second, right? If you're a club that is run by people that actually understand the sport, let's think about it for a second. You have players like Hakimi and Nuno Mendes in your team, who also has Juan Bernat in the team, right? Players that can perfectly play in the left mid, right mid position on that push forward, come back instruction, right? And you get a competent manager like Galtier, and you could actually work with that. Guys, let me tell you something, okay? Nuno Mendes, you know how he was best utilized in the Sporting team? In a 3-4-3. They played a 3-4-3, guys. You know how Inter was best utilized? When they played a 3-4-1-2. And guess what? Hakimi used to be the right mid. So let's get a manager that's going to be able to fully utilize that, right? Maguire. Maguire he just doesn't do well in these 4-backs, right? But Maguire for England in a 3-back with the left mid and right mid coming back was proper as well for him. Because to be fair, his distribution of the ball is not bad. He actually has a pretty good distribution. It's really good, to be fair, right? But you don't get a manager that's going to play to the strengths of the individual players that you have. It doesn't make any sense to me. Okay? It does not make any sense to me because they have these types of players, guys. You Manchester United fans are always going to look to blame individual players. Oh, it's Ronaldo's fault for not being professional. It's Pogba's fault for not being professional. It's Rashford's fault for being a fraud. It's Maguire's fault for not being a good center back. It's Luke Shaw's fault for not marking this and that. No, the whole team is run in shambolic ways. It's the whole team, guys. The whole team. The team and the club. I don't understand the decisions these people are making, man. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's the whole club, guys. It doesn't make any sense, man. You have a player like Diogo Dalot who could push forward, come back. You could play him in the right mid position. You don't do that. You had Alex Telles in your team. You guys can blame Alex Telles as much as you want. Luke Shaw wasn't the greatest today either. Okay? Alex Telles is really good at attacking. If you watched FC Porto, that was his best strength for us during that time period. But they don't utilize that strength. You could play a 3-back. You have competent center backs for the 3-back. Okay, cool. You buy Lisandro Martinez. Maybe you play him at left center back. Then you have Varane and Maguire. That's nice. Even your midfield, right? Even your midfield could be Eriksen and McTominay or Fred and McTominay. That would make more sense in a 3-4-3 because you have the balance of your left mid, right mid kind of playing with those defenders. But you bring a manager who's going to play a 4-2-3-1 again. Guys, say whatever you want, me being North American, this or that. I've watched this team for so long, and they're just horrible, man. They're horrible. Doesn't matter which manager they get, they're horrible. And they don't make good transfer decisions. They think that their problems will be solved by spending way more than they should. It's crazy, man. It's insane. This club, hey man, hopefully when the weeks come, things get better. They buy the right players that they need, but it's embarrassing that you start off the season like this with 3 areas of the pitch missing. 3 key areas, may I add. Well, to be fair, every area of the pitch is key, but 3 areas that, well, to be fair, the strikers were kind of covered in the before with Cavani, Ronaldo, Martial, at least. Well, Martial wasn't there at the time period. But if Cavani and Ronaldo were out, you're dusted, right? No third proper one. No proper right-sided player. If you guys are going to still play with a 4-2-3-1, please buy a CDM. Buy a proper CDM. Don't wait so long for De Jong to happen, okay? To be fair, guys, De Jong might still go to Man United. Who knows? He might still go. I seen this interview just after the game or before the game where it was like, oh, it's just a money issue. 80 million for a CDM, man. Hopefully, if they actually, like, the main things here is those 3 positions. If they sign those 3 positions, there is potential. But I'm sorry, Rashford, I can't stand watching Rashford play in the left-sided position when Jadon Sancho is a monster there. I can't stand looking at it. I can't stand it. That's it for the video. I just wanted to give my thoughts. I don't understand how this club is run. It makes no sense to me. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I'll see you guys for the next one. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys.